Welcome to another edition of SLSA's News You Can Use. I am your host, Marcy Frazier. Recently, I had the opportunity to interview Lynne Prescott, CCLS, President of Legal Professionals Incorporated. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you, Marcy.
Thank you. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you have been a member of SLSA and a member of now LPI, used to be LSI, for a really long time. How long have you been a part of this?
I became a legal secretary in 1983, and I started in the district attorney's office in Inyo County. And then I moved to Fairfield, California. I worked for a personal injury law firm, and all the girls in the office were getting ready to go to this meeting, and they said, "Oh, we signed you up, you need to go." And I said, "Well, what is it?" And they said, "It's Solano County Legal Secretaries Association." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I went just because they were going, and they said I should go. One of the very first exposures that I had to what was then LSI was Yvonne Waldron Robinson, CCLS, who is now a past president of LPI. She was new to the executive committee, and she was our visiting officer. And she came, and while she was talking about LSI, she talked about the CCLS program. And boy, did that catch my attention. I was fascinated by the CCLS program, and I wanted to know more about it. So I asked Yvonne if she would come back and do a special talk about the CCLS program. It was amazing.
Wow.
And from there, we launched a CCLS study group. We didn't have anybody to teach it, so I stepped up and I said, okay, the best way to learn the material is if you teach it, then you have to know it. And so I studied so that I would know what I was talking about, so that I could teach it. And there were quite a few of us. I can't remember now how many of us actually sat for the exam. This was in 1992, I believe. And I took the CCLS exam, was convinced that I did not pass. And you can just imagine my absolute elation when I got my letter in the mail.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was addressed, with my name, comma, CCLS afterwards, and I was like, oh my God, I did it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now tell us, what is CCLS? What does that stand for?
CCLS stands for California Certified Legal Secretary, and it is a certification program that is administered by Legal Professionals Incorporated. It examines 7 different areas of law for your study. And then when you take the exam, when you sit for the exam, those are the areas that you are tested on. It is a comprehensive all-day exam. It has been called the Legal Secretary's Bar Exam, as it is affectionately, or maybe not so affectionately known.
I love it.
Because it is intense. It is an intense course of study. The information that you have to digest and you have to know, the comprehension that you have to have in order to pass this exam, it is intense, but it is so worth it. So worth it. Just like when an attorney gets to be able to put that JD behind their name, after spending 3 or 4 years in law school, a CCLS is able to do the same thing after however many months or years of study, because it's study at your own pace. Then when they take the exam, then they have the privilege of being able to use CCLS behind their name. There is a recertification requirement, just like with attorneys. Attorneys have to complete so many hours of continuing legal education credit. So does the CCLS. A CCLS has to complete 15 hours in a 3-year period in order to recertify.
I see.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I love
It is.
the idea of being able to hold that certification up behind your name.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, what would you say that being a part of SLSA or being a part of LPI, what would you say? How has that changed how you are as a professional?
Oh my goodness. It's changed everything, Marcy. It has changed the way I approach my work. It has changed the way I think about my job. I don't think of it as a job, it's a career, because it's something that I have invested in. Had I not been a member of Sacramento LSA or LPI, had I not been involved in this organization, this great organization, had I not taken the educational classes, had I not kept up with the changes in the law, my value as a member of the team, whether it's the present law firm that I'm with or previous law firms that I have worked with, my value is not as great, in my opinion, because I bring a lot more to the table now. I bring a lot more to the table by the experience, the exposure, and the education that I get by being a member of my association and the statewide organization, LPI.
Yes. And on that note, as now you've served in SLSA as president, you've served many levels in your local chapter, and now you have amazingly been installed as the president of LPI. And your theme as president, what can you talk about about that theme?
Oh, thanks for asking, Marcy. My theme that I've chosen is elevate. You elevate the purpose, the people, the profession. And you can't do one without the other. When you elevate your purpose, whether it's your own personal purpose or whether it's your professional purpose, you are elevating people. It's yourself, or you're elevating your team that you work with, or you're elevating your kids or your family. You're elevating your tribe. You know, a lot of us love to use that term these days. You know, we have that core group of people behind us that we know we can rely on, and we elevate our tribe. When you elevate your purpose and you elevate your people, then you're elevating the profession. I love that because it's so true. I love it because in this day and age where there seems to be an air of, I hate to say negativity, but there is a lot of negativity. There's a lot of oppression. It seems like there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of dissidence. There's not a lot of kindness. Yeah. And while being kind is not necessarily a requirement for being a legal professional, it certainly goes a long way.
Absolutely.
When we work in an environment where we can elevate our purpose, where we can elevate people, whether it's with kindness, whether it's with positivity, whether it's with education, whether it's with networking, or maybe it's just a helping hand, maybe it's just listening, and that is so needed today. You know, they say that the best kind of a woman is a woman who lifts up other women.
I love that.
You know, they straighten their crown without even knowing that it was crooked. You know, they elevate them without knowing that they needed to be elevated. We have so much power to empower. We have so much power to elevate, and we have so many opportunities to be those standing stones that I was talking about during my installation speech. You know, to be that marker that leaves a legacy for those left behind. And so my purpose in choosing Elevate as a theme for my presidency is to remind people that you have an opportunity and you have the responsibility to leave this profession better than you found it. We are all about elevating people to wherever they want to go. If you want to be a paralegal, we've got the education for you. If you need additional resources to do your job, we've got that too. We've got the webinars, we've got the online classes, we've got the publications, you know, the Law Office Procedures Manual and the Legal Professionals Handbook. You know, we've got conferences that always feature workshops and speakers. There's monthly meetings on the local association level where attorneys and other legal professionals come to speak to keep us educated and to keep us knowledgeable about the things that we need to do and the tools that we need to have in order to do our job. And that's what I hope we'll continue doing for another 86 years.
I love it. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you for being a part of this. To me, it means a lot because I love being a part of the organization, and I love hearing from people who have history within it, and then to be able to speak about its importance because of being able to look back on your history and see all of the value that it's brought to your profession.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for this.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you, Marcy.
And thank you, and we are good. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of SLSA's News You Can Use. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see everyone soon.